So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I know that we all have seen a movie where this woman is at home doing one or two things around the house, and then there is a knock on the door or the bell sounds, and then she gets the door. And right there, standing in front of her front porch, is a mailman. He's got a package in his hands, and he is not wearing a smile. He is not wearing a cheerful look. Curious and heart-racing, she reaches out and gets the letter, the package. Legs trembling, she rushes to the kitchen, wondering what it could be. She rips the envelope apart, brings out the letter, and her worst fears are confirmed. Her husband of 15 years, who has been having a hidden affair with his secretary at the office, has now sent her divorce papers and she has to sign them. That marks the end of their marriage. The last 15 years of her life flashing before her eyes. She slides down slowly the kitchen walls. Tears welled up in her eyes, slowly trickling down. Pebbles of perspiration forming on her forehead, and the million thoughts racing through her head. It's all over. The end. A short story. The end. Imagination won't wound you. Imagination won't wound you. Don't worry, we will write a book on this channel. We're going to write a book, series of books. There is so much I have to give you guys, so anticipate our book. We will write one. But in the meantime, don't forget that storytelling is an art. It is a craft, and it can be learned, it can be improved, and it can be perfected. I have a master course that I have prepared just for you, teaching and detailing how to be an excellent storyteller and an all well-rounded orator that would keep your audience spellbound and have them coming for more. The link to access that course will be down in the description box and will be pinned in the comment section. So click on it and begin, or you can simply send interested to nezemasterclass@gmail.com. So yes, I just painted a scenario, a story of an impression that many of us are under. I do not know where we got it from, maybe Hollywood movies, but so many of us believe that this is how divorce happens and this is how divorce ends. Divorce papers are sent over to your home, you get it heartbroken, and you're required to sign the divorce papers and bring the marriage to an end by your signature. And so when you go on social media, you see many people lashing out and bashing Yul Edochie, urging him to sign these divorce papers and let May go. Sign the divorce papers and let her go since you want to be with your concubine. And when I see such comments, I'm like, haba, I hope these are not my Nezevillians typing this thing. My villains should not disgrace me like this on social media, not when they have me to give them all the information and all the cocoa. So relax. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys all the knowledge. Not because I want you to get a divorce, of course not, but because I know that knowledge is power and information is gold, and it's good for you to know. So if you're new here, you are seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued because we have so much more coming your way. Let us begin. Just to put that out there, just for record purposes, just for the avoidance of doubts, the concept of signing divorce papers is a complete myth. It does not exist. It does not happen, at least in Nigeria. You can tell us in the comment section what it is like in your countries, in the jurisdiction where you live. Is that the process for getting a divorce? The person that wants to leave will just send documents across and the other one signs and the marriage comes to an end? Let us know down in the comment section. In Nigeria, getting a divorce is a far more difficult and far more complex process than getting married. It requires several step-by-step processes and several countless legal requirements. When one has decided to toe the path of getting a divorce, the very first thing that that person has to think about is upon which grounds am I coming for a divorce? Because our laws, through the Matrimonial Causes Act, which is the statute that governs marriage cases, custody of children, justification of marriage, judicial separation, spousal property and splitting spousal property, alimony and maintenance of spouses, all of these are covered by an act called the Matrimonial Causes Act. And this act has specific grounds upon which anybody must seek for a divorce. So even if what your spouse is doing does not impress you, you are not happy about their behavior, if it doesn't fall within these stipulated grounds, the court will not give you a divorce. So you must confirm if your plight falls amongst the listed grounds for the dissolution of marriage. Now, the law holds that the only ground at which a marriage will be dissolved in Nigeria is if the marriage has broken down irretrievably. Batali. No hope. It has broken down absolutely. That is the only ground. So the court has several grounds upon which it will then reach the conclusion that the marriage has indeed broken down irretrievably. I have done a full video on it. I hope I remember to leave the link of that video in the description box. It is very important to listen and to know. As I said, not because you're about to get the divorce, but because knowledge is important. So you don't go on social media and be blabbing. Or you don't walk around having the wrong impression of what things are. But I will just highlight these reasons. If you want a detailed explanation, make recourse to that video. The first ground, a willful and persistent refusal to consummate the marriage. The second one is adultery, and the petitioner finds it intolerable to live with the adulterer. The third one is that the spouse has behaved in a way that it cannot be reasonably expected for the person seeking for the divorce to live or be married to such a person. The fourth one is desertion, when someone deserts you for a period of up to 1 year or more. Number 5 is living apart for a continuous period of 2 or 3 years. Get the details in that video. The next is the failure to comply with a decree of restitution of conjugal rights. So if your husband or your wife denies you conjugal rights, you can go to court and ask the court to enforce that right of yours. And if after that court gives a decree ordering that person to surrender themselves for quack and that person refuses, that is a ground for divorce. And the last one is being absent for such a long time that it can be presumed that your spouse is dead. The law pegs it at 7 years. So these are the grounds. So if you want to get a divorce, the first thing to do is to check which of these grounds your case fall under and which of them you have evidence of, because you would provide evidence. You cannot just come and say this is what happened. No, it is a court case. It is a suit. You would back up your claim with substantial, provable evidence. So if you're alleging desertion, you need to have some evidence. If you're alleging adultery, you better come with evidence. The next step after identifying your ground is to visit a legal practitioner, a lawyer. There is no law that prohibits you from representing yourself in the court of law, especially when it comes to civil suits, such as the dissolution of marriage. But it will be in your best interest to let a professional do it for you. Your attorney would be in the best position to review your reasons and help you identify your strongest points. He will give you good advice, help you file the suit, and handle the case better. So please always seek both legal counsel and the assistance of a barrister. 3. The next step is to check if you fall under the 2-year rule. The truth is that Nigeria is a cultural society and marriage is seen and deemed as sacred. Divorce is still seen as a little, must you? Can't you work it out? And there are several laws and provisions of the law that protect marriage. Under the Nigerian law, the Matrimonial Causes Act stipulates that no person can file for a divorce for a marriage that is under 2 years, except with leave of court, what does leave of court means? It means with the permission of the courts. So now you did the marriage, now you they suffer the thing, but the judge has to be the one to give you permission to divorce if your marriage is below 2 years. And this permission will only be granted if, in the opinion of the judge, that not granting it will cause exceptional hardship to a party of the marriage. So it is very possible that the judge will review everything and deny you permission to proceed with the divorce if your marriage is below 2 years. The judge can tell you, we no dissolve. Go home and settle your issues. And the law has good reasons for this position. It believes that this would help to checkmate the impulsive leaving of a marriage. The law believes that during that, first time of getting married, there will be many challenges trying to get to know each other. And if the law gives an easy way out for any disgruntled person at the first feeling of discomfort or at the first feeling of annoyance should just pick up their pen and start filing for a divorce, then the sanctity of marriage will not be upheld nor protected. So for that reason, some restraints, some constraints were put in place to check that. So if your marriage does not fall under this 2-year rule period, or if you have sought the leave of the courts and obtained it, the next step is to file your petition. A dissolution of marriage in the courts comes through a process called a petition. And the person that is asking for the divorce is called the petitioner, while the person that, let me say she, because the truth is that, do you know that statistically, it's women, let me just use Nigeria for example, women are the ones that ask for divorce more than men. A man will be maltreating you. I don't know, if he does not want you, he will not divorce you, he will keep you there, you'll be suffering. It's the women that's, someone of the courage and ask for a divorce. Men will just leave you there and be suffering you until you use your hand to run away. So let me just say the petitioner, just for this example purpose, is a woman. So the petitioner is the woman that is instituting the action, that is asking for the divorce. Then the respondent is the person that she is asking to be divorced from, which in this case, her husband, the man. There can also be another party to a divorce suit called the co-respondent, especially if the ground for divorce is adultery. The law makes provision for that adulterer, that person that committed adultery with your spouse, to be joined in the suit as a co-respondent. The husband that committed adultery is the respondent. The woman, the other woman, the concubine, which in this case is Judy. That is why Judy is seen as a party to this May's divorce proceeding. You can add the adulterer as a co-respondent to come and explain why he or she, of all the meat in town, chose to eat a meat that does not belong to her. And if it is proven that she indeed did that, she can be slammed damages to be paid to the wife, to the petitioner. So that's what's happening in this you, Judy, and May case. May is the petitioner, you is the respondent, and Judy is the co-respondent. So you file this petition at the High Court. The High Court is the court that has jurisdiction to hear divorce proceedings. You can file it at the High Court where either party resides or where the marriage was conducted. So if I reside in Lagos and the man resides in Benin and we conducted our marriage in Osun State, we can either file in Edo, Lagos, or Osun. And the divorce petition comes with plenty of information. The names of the parties, the dates the marriage was consummated, if there are any fruits, any children from the marriage, and evidence of all the allegations. If you are alleging adultery, you have that message that was, he admitted, oh baby, I enjoyed last night, I loved the way you were twisting on me, screenshot it and attach it there. That is evidence of adultery. Whatever evidence you need to support your claim, you attach it in the petition. After filing, the next step in the divorce is service. Service is a process where that divorce petition with all the evidence attached, copies of them, is served, is brought to the notice of the other party to inform them that, hello, this person is not interested in this marriage anymore and wants out. So you are required in court to come and contest this divorce or agree to it. Let us dissolve it. So that service maybe is what people confuse as divorce papers that you need to sign. That signing, okay, because this service should be personal. It's called personal service, okay? It should be delivered to that other party by a court staff called the court bailiff. So this court bailiff goes to the address of this person and delivers this notification, this notice, to the respondent. And the respondent is required to sign an attestation of receipt that I have gotten this petition. Now, that is not signing the divorce papers, that is acknowledging receipt of the divorce petition. And in the event that respondent refuses, he wants to do bad thing, or she wants to do bad thing, but she does not want to divorce, she wants to chop cake and have it, now that person starts evading service. When the person sees court bailiff, the person will run and hide under the bed, doesn't want to take the letter. There is a way out. Even in this case between May and Yule, it was rumored that Yule was evading service of the divorce process. So there are alternatives. You have to go back to the court. You cannot just utilize those alternatives by yourself. No, it has to be on order upon order of the court. So you have to go back to court, of course, through your counsel, and inform the judge that this person is running away. He or she does not want to take receipt of this divorce notice. Then the judge will now give an order for substituted service. And substituted service can either mean pasting it at a conspicuous place of the person's residence or abode, or serving it electronically through electronic means. For example, through email. I don't know about DMs, Instagram DMs. No, I don't think we Nigerian courts have progressed to that level. Emails is an ideal way of serving electronically when it comes to substituted service. After service of the petition, the next step becomes answering the petition. Allegations have been laid against you. It needs your answer. So this respondent should now also seek the services of a lawyer and file his own response to the petition. And there is a time frame. You do not have all year, all day, all lifetime to do that. It must be filed within 28 days of receipt. So after the respondent has responded, as the name implies, to the petition filed by the petitioner, as the name implies too, the next step in a divorce proceeding is the hearing, the trial proper. The petition will be set for hearing. The parties will present their case backed with evidence, of course. The lawyers on both sides would examine and cross-examine the witnesses. And this is where the bulk of the taking time happens, because there will be adjournments, there will be counter, especially if the divorce is being contended, if it's a contentious case. There are some cases where the woman will file, the man will be like, oh, good riddance, I've been waiting for this, please, I don't even want to marry you, just get out. But there's some cases where the woman will file, and in court, the man will start crying and begging, Judge, please, don't dissolve my marriage, I still love my wife, I don't want to divorce. That's a contentious case, and it takes longer because there's now more cross-examining, more witness calling, more counter petition, and all of that. Another thing that can cause this to stretch is if children are involved, because other issues would then have to be addressed and considered. Child custody, maintenance of children, if the couple have joint marital properties, how to, split these properties. These are the other things that can make the case stretch longer. So sometimes, most times, typically, the judge would give some kind of leeway. The judge will send them for a compulsory conference where they can agree within themselves on how they want, the children to be arranged and shared, and how they want their properties. The judge will not impose a position on them. The judge will give them an avenue where they can agree on how they want to split these things. It's if this agreement becomes disputatious, if they cannot meet a common ground, then the trial will commence with the judge bearing the responsibility to take decisions on who gets custody and who gets what properties. All right, but there's usually that first opportunity for the parties to agree within themselves. So after the hearing and the trial comes the next stage, which is judgment decrees. So after the petition, the whole back and forth in court and the petition have been proven, and the court believes that that marriage has broken down irretrievably, the court would then order a dissolution of marriage nisi. Some people call it dissolution nisi. Nisi is the Latin pronunciation. It's a Latin word, but in English it's pronounced nisi. Okay, now this dissolution nisi is like a temporal order of dissolution. So you can see that the courts in Nigeria, the law in Nigeria, just doesn't want to let go of that marriage. Keeps giving opportunities where reconciliation can be considered, mediation can be introduced. Not here. Let us wait and see whether they will come back. Let us wait. We don't want this marriage to break. So we're a very marriage-driven society, and it even reflects in our laws. I don't know whether other countries have these kinds of restrictions. So what this decree NIGERIA does is that it's okay, agrees that everything is okay, the marriage can end, but it gives a 90-day window where the couples can still choose to reconcile. Or if somebody wants to appeal a judgment of that trial, maybe custody, the judge gave custody of all the children to the man and the woman does not want it, wants to appeal that decision, within that 90-day period, the person can appeal. Or the couple can even reconcile within that 90-day space. So it keeps that decree from being absolute, from being final, and just keeps it in the waiting. And during that 90-day period, no party to the marriage is allowed to get remarried. You are still married for all intents and purposes. If you still want to go on with the divorce, you must wait another 3 months. If you want that decree to become absolute, to become final, for that marriage to end completely, you must wait another 3 months. So the court would first issue out a decree NIGERIA, then after 90 days it becomes final. And once that decree becomes final, the marriage is completely dissolved. Either party can go ahead and remarry. And even if they reconcile and they want to come back together, they have to reinstitute all the marriage rights. They have to go back to court, take all the vows, do everything, because that first marriage has been dead and buried. It's just like a dead person in the grave. Divorce is not an easy process. These things I just elucidated, it takes time. It takes an emotional strain on one, because this information you are giving out, they are subject to public scrutiny. They are public documents. Anybody can go and get those things and read. And you know how divorce, God, it's usually it's painful. That's why I really do hate divorce, except it has come to, it's not really something that's easily, get a divorce now. It's not as easy as it's said on social media. Sometimes it takes years to conclude, and it takes an emotional toll. You see private personal details. Don't you read all those articles on the Sun magazine, all those newspaper, where you see some people say, my husband's penis is 1 inch, my wife's this is smelling, different dirty details. Because when this person is firing you, you want to fire back you want to go lower, you want to say something that would also pepper the person and disgrace the person. And before you know it, people have spilled all sorts of things in public that anybody can pick and read, even your children can access and read tomorrow. So it's usually not pretty, and of course that's why the law tries to discourage it, except it now becomes a situation where it needs to be done, because somebody is about to lose it, somebody has had it over their noses. So yes guys, that is it. I hope I have been able to break it down for you step by step on how to get a divorce in Nigeria. What do you think about all of these roadblocks, these stumbling blocks put in by the Nigerian law to make divorce more difficult? Do you think it's a good thing? Because if it's so easy to be done, at the slightest provocation, people will just go to court. 2 months after the marriage, you said that to me, I'm getting a divorce. Do you support these roadblocks, these limitations, this stuff put in place to make it a bit difficult? Or do you think that it is wrong? Would you rather it's easy and straightforward? I don't want to. Why are you stressing me? Is it by force to marry? Do let us know down in the comment section what you think about the Nigeria's law's position and the process of getting a divorce in Nigeria. Also share in the comment section what it is like in your country of residence. If you're in America, Canada, Kenya, wherever you are, let us know down in the comment section if it is also tedious, and on the average how long it takes to start and finalize a divorce process. Let us share all we know down in the comment section. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here, see my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued because we have so much more coming your way. Don't also forget to subscribe to our storytelling masterclass. Very powerful, impactful for new and old content creators, and even everybody in general who is desirous of being a better orator. Thank you so much once again, guys. It's me, your girl, Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.